Hey everybody, welcome to a Mic Drop mini-sode. We are on the road today and have the privilege and pleasure and honor to talk with Wright, a captain in the Springdale Police Department with nearly 20 years of experience on the force. Derek has seen the force from all angles, from a patrolman up through, all kinds of different programs, and is now as a captain overseas and has influence over a lot of what's going on in the department and speaks with a lot of experience. So we're excited to hear from him today as we roll into 2025 and look at all the work that Gap Relief has ahead. Derek, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mike.
Yeah, we're really excited to talk to you, and I want to just start by saying thanks for your service to this community. That's a lot of time and a lot of dedication, and we're really grateful. And also thanks for joining us today for the conversation. We said we'd keep these short and sweet, so we're going to move right into the questions. Derek, with nearly 20 years on the force, seeing your job from a ton of different angles, how would you summarize the impact of first and even secondhand trauma on the day-to-day life of a police officer or first responder? How does it impact somebody in your line of work?
I think for me, trauma impacts in two different ways. So you've got your professional impact, you've got your personal impact. Where the professional impact comes in is how we serve the community, right? Because when that trauma builds up, you lose capacity to be able to serve the community. And so what may be the worst day of someone's life becomes our everyday. And as that almost becomes normal to us. And so when that gets normalized among police officers, we may not be able to have the compassion or the empathy that we need to have out on the street when we're serving the community. And so that's a substantial impact. But then you look at the personal impact of it, everything from relationships to your friend circles to just your self-care. And so what I've seen a lot is as that trauma builds up, that chronic buildup of the trauma over a period of time just gets to a point where someone is no longer able to do this career effectively. And I've seen many careers end over the years just because that chronic trauma builds and builds.
Oh man, it makes total sense. I'm thinking about the 2 or 3 crisis moments in my life where I've needed the police for me, and I think back on those and I'm like, man, that was crazy. And that is just all you do. You continue to show up to all of those for the community, and it makes sense. That has impact over time. Well, Derek, you're familiar with the work that Gap Relief does in the law enforcement and first response sector. In your own words, could you share with us, as you look at our organization and people like trying to do what we're doing to support folks like you, the impact that it's having, the way it's helping, the way it's supporting, and maybe how it would be meaningful to get to continue to serve that and expand those services in 2025?
I think the impact is huge. Not only does it increase the capacity for the officers to better serve the community, which is important, right? We talked about how that chronic trauma builds, and we have compassion fatigue, right?
Yeah.
And so we lose the ability to effectively serve our community. But another aspect of that is the personal aspect, where the officers, Gap Relief, the services that they provide allow the officers to focus on themselves and that self-care, and then the relational care with their spouses, their significant others, close friends, and then just their health. I mean, mental health impacts so much more than just our thoughts, right? It has a physical impact as well. And so it's very important, the services that Gap Relief provide. And I've been lucky enough to be able to participate in those in the past, to where that benefit is it can extend the career. It can make someone's career more successful. It can make them more effective. And it can just help them be the person that they are, instead of that chronic trauma just building and affecting them negatively in their personal and professional lives.
I love that. That is awesome. It's very encouraging, and couldn't agree more with what you said. I think it's really cool. Well, thank you. You've answered my questions. I want to give you an opportunity as we head into 2025 and look at the new year. What would you like to share with the Northwest Arkansas community?
Sure. First and foremost, we're just so appreciative in law enforcement of how supportive our community in Northwest Arkansas is. They've been extremely supportive throughout the years. And I know I've been in this career for nearly 20 years, and we have always had a supportive community, which is huge. Being heavily involved in the wellness side of things and mental health and law enforcement, just the community knows that from our perspective, we are doing everything that we can to more effectively serve the community, to make a bigger impact, and just kind of a call for action in the community. If you don't know your local police department, or if there's something you want to know, a question that you have, don't be afraid to reach out. I know that's something that we do a lot of community outreach here specifically, But throughout the departments in Northwest Arkansas, they're more than willing to share with the community and open up and just build that trust and that bond with the community.
I love that. I feel like what I'm hearing there is communities made up of a bunch of humans, and our law enforcement servants are also humans, and we can all kind of come and be human together, right? You know, welcoming that humanity. And I love what you do personally. I love the banner that you're holding to try and help bring mental health and resilience to your department. You know, at Gap Relief, our mission is to build resilient communities and help the helpers build resilient communities. And I mean, this is you're just like a living example of what we want to see. It's so cool to talk to you. Thank you again for taking the time today, and looking forward to a great 2025.
Hey, thanks, Mike, and I appreciate Gap Relief and all that you guys are doing.